And I could tell what people was thinking. They was thinking, right, this guy's gonna either barely finish or he's not gonna finish. Leading up to the race, my coach Alessio, he said to me, listen, take your vitamins before you travel because we don't want you to get ill. And I said, don't worry, I never get ill. We turn up to Canada the day before the race. I'm ill, I'm sick. The race started on Friday. We arrived on Wednesday. And yeah, by the time I arrived, like Wednesday, Thursday, it was like, yeah, I was well and truly sick. I was like, oh, here we go. What are you gonna do now? So basically how the race goes is, yeah, you do the race and then you go home, eat, recover, and then you get ready for the next day. So it's not like a traditional triathlon. It's a little bit of a weird one because you have to endure over the 3 days.
6:24 split overall for day number 1, and what a start.
Day 1 is 10K swim and then 145K bike ride. And then the second day, 280K bike ride. And then the third day is a double marathon.
Make sure you check in. Let's make this as come and get one of the phone list and see.
It's just another thing I've got to deal with. I woke up this morning.
And then athletes, we're asking you to bear over to the left where Bergie is located.
Which way they have to...
Pain in my throat.
That's where we're going to get the photo of the athletes, please.
My biggest supporter, I'd say, was my coach. Alessio he's a 10K specialist. He was on the Italian national team. So if there was one person in the whole of Dubai that could help me, that was him. Like it was like a perfect match.
You ready?
It's gonna be a long day and 3 days, and it's the first time for him because he has a big experience in ultra marathon but never done a triathlon.
Alessio was my coach since we started the journey and helped me along the way. He took a chance on me. Obviously he's got like a lot of athletes in his portfolio, and yeah, I don't really consider myself a triathlete, but yeah, he took me on and believed in me and we got the job done together.
And then also in transition, come down, do your stuff.
Yeah.
As I told you, the race is long. If you want to save 2 minutes and do mistakes, it's better if you wait.
Thursday, a pre-race meeting before, so where they introduce all the athletes and they tell you about the course, they tell you about, you know, the crewing, the rules, they go through everything because it's a big organization and you can't really do it by yourself, you have to have a crew. And yeah, so they explain a little bit about every single athlete and they're going through everyone and they're saying, yeah, this person's got 10 years experience, this person's got 5 years experience, 10 years experience. We get to me and then the announcer says, I read this guy's profile and I couldn't believe what I was reading. This is his first triathlon. And when he said that, everyone was like gasping, everyone, like no one could believe it. So, and I could tell what people was thinking. They was thinking, right, this guy's gonna either barely finish or he's not gonna finish. I could tell that's what people was thinking. But I was ready because that's been the story of a lot of situations in my life. Like I've been the underdog. No one thinks I can do it, but I can do it, it's no problem.
So how do you think Evren's doing right now?
I would say he's in a very good position. We can't see him yet, but he should be coming in within the next 20 to 30, 40 minutes or so. So he's making good pace.
Brooke's from Canada, and lucky she was there because she knew every inch of this course. Like she knew where there were hills, she knew where there was going to be slow parts, where there was going to be headwind. She just knew everything about the course. So yeah, definitely lucky to have her on board. I was finished, like mentally and physically, but I still had to get on the bike. So if you think like that and you keep thinking about what's ahead, then yeah, you're setting yourself up for failure. All the time while I was doing those training sessions, those long 2-3 hour training sessions, I was just imagining myself at the race getting out of the water. That's the only thing I was picturing. It's difficult, but just do the race, get out of the water, and then you don't have to swim ever again. So when I came out of the water, that was like a big relief. It was like, yes, no more swimming. Let's get onto the bike.
He started a little bit hard and too fast for his pace, because we planned to finish the swim around 3 hours and 30 minutes to be able to start the bike. He is ahead of the plan, because he finished the swim in 3 hours and 28 minutes. And after 10 minutes he started the bike.
So how many more kilometers to go for
We have
Evren?
50 kilometers left in the race, on the bike race on day 1. He's looking really strong, got his head down, he's crushing the kilometers, taking in nutrition, staying hydrated. We're very proud of him. He's doing amazing. His is 105. So if we go just a few kilometers out,
Like 110?
yeah, we can do 110, even like 100,
Okay.
not much.
So we move everything up by 5k.
Exactly.
110, 125
Exactly.
instead of 20.
Yeah, unless he demands nutrition sooner. but
Yeah,
I
so
think,
he does the final stretch.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and that will give him some good nutrition right before that climb too.
So we're gonna stop before the 110k?
Yeah, we're gonna stop at 105 right now, go to the bathroom, do whatever we need
Okay,
to do,
perfect.
and then straight out, we will be good.
Oh, good.
Last 27 kilometers. How's
Yes,
it going?
now it's tough because it's the final climb, a bit windy, and he's tired because he's already 8 hours 10 minutes in the race. But he have to hold on and carry on. After this 10k, the final 15-20k is gonna be downhill, so it should be easy. And then we have to think about tomorrow. Yeah, because it's not finished yet.
As I was putting my water bottle back in the socket, a van come past quite fast and made a gush of wind, and I fell off the bike. Luckily I was going uphill, so I wasn't going very fast. So I fell down and hit my ankle, hit my arm, and then I hit my head as well. The most of the damage was on my arm. So I looked down right here, and this part was all bleeding, and there was like a big lump about the size of a golf ball. So when I looked and it was hurting a lot, I thought that was the bone. Immediately I thought that was the bone, and I thought, oh, that's it, race over, what are we gonna do? I touched it, and I realized that it wasn't the bone because it was soft. But then I looked down and it was bleeding, it was like, yeah, it's just a big kind of lump there. So I immediately got up, jumped up to try and get back on the bike, but my head was spinning, so I couldn't get on the bike.
Well, there's a lot of hills on that course. Yeah, man, it was killer. Good scenery though. I suffered through the first half because through the swim, I struggled. I've done the first half of the swim really well, went out too fast, and then I struggled at the end. So I've done the first 5k in an hour and a half, and then the last 5k in like 2 hours. So yeah, just went out too fast. And by the time I got out of the water, I was fucked. My neck was really hurting me, so when I was on the bike, it kind of like went from my neck down to my back, and now my back really hurts. Need to go do some massage or something. Had a nice fall as well. Messed up my elbow pretty good and my ankle. I was hoping to go under 9 hours, went just over like 9:15. So it's okay. I'm gonna go home now, get some food, regroup, get ready for tomorrow. Let's go.
Immediately after I got off the bike, I got a real meal prepared, which obviously had carbs, protein, fats, just to get everything back in my system. Yeah, so day 1, once I was off the bike, I was happy to be finished. So day 2 was 275k bike ride, and this would have been the longest bike ride that I've ever done.
So unfortunately, Evren has received a 6-minute penalty for not coming to a complete stop at a stop sign. But we feel very confident that we'll have no problem making that up on the future. We have some downhills coming up, so we're feeling pretty good still despite that setback.
Actually, it's a handoff with Evren because he asked for ice. The temperature is increasing, so yeah, it's very important to keep the body temperature under control. He looks very, very good. He can talk, he smiles, he interacts. And this is very important because it means the energy level is still high. So yeah, we have another stop. He will stop a few minutes in, I think, 12k, because we are at 87k to go. Yeah, at 200k mark we will do a longer stop so he can eat properly, a sandwich and I don't know, drink something else, just stretch his legs 2-3 minutes, and then he has just, I think, 45k to the top of the climb, and then the last 29k downhill. So I think it's very important we reached a good point, and yeah, good. And it's very important for tomorrow, because if he doesn't finish completely destroyed, probably tomorrow he can run well again. But we will think about tomorrow later. It's too early.
Yeah.
So we're having a slight bike mechanical issue. It looks like Evren's bike cage for his water bottles behind his seat has come loose, and we'll try to see if we can fix that, or if we need to think of something down the road to actually make it stay.
There was a lot of climbing as well in this bike ride. There was actually a section which they call the wall, which is like a really, really steep climb. And I think that was around 100k into it, something like that. Some people I heard actually they couldn't ride up, they had to actually get off their bikes and walk up it.
You just finished it sub 10 hours.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Fucked.
Yeah,
It was tough, man.
pretty draining.
It was a long day, boy. Just so glad to get off that bike.
Today is day 3, is the last day, is the toughest day, because he comes from 420k on a bike and 10k on the swim, so he has already raced for almost 20 hours, and today he has to run for 84.4k, so it's a double marathon. And the problem is the course is not completely flat, it's not a proper running race on road, but it's 34-35k on trail, the off-road, and it's continuously up and down, up and down, and up and down. And from Princeton we go back to Penticton. Let's see, we have a plan, let's see if he can execute well as he did yesterday.
So nutrition wise, I was just trying to take it as much fluid as I could, obviously trying to keep my glycogen high. So I was taking Activate from Everybody's, which is carbohydrates and electrolytes. So I was sipping on that throughout the whole race. So I probably have a bottle every hour to 90 minutes.
He hasn't asked for it yet. Do you have it up front? Yeah, okay. Well, we'll check in, but I think he was doing pretty good regarding his Achilles. A little bit of time, so let's definitely meet him up no further than here yet.
So ever since I started running, I've had Achilles tendonitis. So that's just basically overuse of the tendons. The way day 3 started was I was like kind of warming up, and I was like going on my toes and like doing just doing my regular warm up, and I could just feel the tendonitis starting. I could feel the pain starting. So all throughout training, the months leading up, had no problems. But what happens? We get to the start line, day 3, I'm doing my warm up and I can feel it. And I'm like, oh fuck, it's gonna be a long day. So after about, the first 10k wasn't that much of an issue, but then after that, it really started to hurt. And any kind of like flexing on my ankle just hurt. So I was trying to keep my left ankle as straight as I could. So that kind of like threw my balance off a little bit. Just anything I could do to get through it. So I was trying to take a lot of painkillers as frequently as I could.
Luke Street, and now Evren, the 31-year-old who represents the UK. Look at that, the English flag is flying. The man who spends time in Turkey, that's where his wife and 2 kids are.
I wasn't kind of like the typical happy, like jumping around. It was just like literally taking that moment of like, oh, I've done it, I've accomplished it. I just wanted to, yeah, kind of be with myself and yeah, just feel that kind of sense of accomplishment really. So yeah, just went down there, sat by myself just for a minute or two, and then that was it. That was like, okay, very good, but on to the next thing now. So just tried to forget it, and yeah, then I was like smiling and yeah, speaking to everyone. Had a little, I can't remember what we spoke about, but yeah, Alessio just said he was proud of me, and like he was, that was a good moment.
Every day now he partakes in some kind of rigorous physical activity. He says he wants to prepare his mind and soul for his truth.
So 6 months of training, more than 6 months. It leads to here.
I don't know very well, but I think with me even less, a little bit less. I think 6 months ago he registered for this race. Yeah, when he called me, now I can say that two months ago, a couple of months ago, I asked him, there is any chance to postpone the event? Because I don't think you won't be ready. You will be ready in 2 months. And he said, no, I don't have any chance to postpone, we have to do it now. Yeah, so we set some goals. One of the biggest was to go sub 30 hours after the 3 days. And he did 27 hours and 58 minutes, so I don't know, I'm speechless because it's very impressive.
You're very proud.
Also this morning we refreshed the strategy, the pace, everything, and he went faster and faster since the beginning. So the plan was to run at least 10 hours to stay sub 30 hours, and he did 8 hours 41 minutes. So he never slowed down, just a little bit in the end, but you know, also mentally it's tough to run for 8-9 hours, and but nothing, no dramas. It's unbelievable. Yeah, amazing.
The most challenging part, I think it was just the consistency of it, like just 10 hours a day, every day. The run was probably the most difficult because obviously my legs were battered by day 3, and running is really difficult because you've got the strain on your legs, you've got the strain on your joints, your feet. The bike is a little bit more easier because you can eat on the bike, there's not so much like pressure on your joints. Kind of every day was hard. If I could describe this in one word, I would say it's a journey.